so today is the first episode.
Since the last episode.
No, the first episode that we're monetized. Welcome to the Hot Girl Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Cecil McFly, and today is our first monetized podcast. And if we get money, I will meet with my co-hosts, Lots of Opinions in Vegas, where we'll go and visit all the fat locations.
Yes, we'll go fat people sightsee, and it's gonna be like a zoo out.
Well, we're gonna go to the supersized salon and get our hair done, and then we're gonna go on a date to the Heart Attack Grill.
Yes, taking pictures with all the animals.
Did you know of the Heart Attack Grill? If you weigh over 300 pounds, you eat for free.
Are we allowed to? Oh, you know how they do the three kids in one raincoat? Can we be the two adults in one raincoat? Can we figure out how to stand with each other? Maybe we can add up and
I don't think we weigh 300 pounds together.
I mean, I don't know what 300 pounds is.
Let's see, 300. Well, I think we're around the same size, and I think together we are probably about 60 to 50 pounds short. It's 136 kilograms.
Oh no, we're not that.
Alright, so today we're talking about
Queen Keffals, trans Rosa Parks. Of the Twitter community.
Rosa Parks?
Yes.
Wait, she does not want to sit at the back of the Twitter?
She does not want to sit at the back of Twitter. Keffals will ratio the hell out of anybody and everybody to be at the front. And for some reason, Keffals was supposed to be left in 2022 and came back to get their ass cancelled again in real time, but not for the reasons that we would like. So unfortunately, Keffals is relevant. There's been quite a few people that have covered Keffals, so I think that we can link below some resources to see who Keffals is or some context in any regard.
I could probably give a quick rundown in, let's say, 2 minutes.
Yes, go.
Keffals is a trans streamer from Twitch. They originally were Canadian as well. They're male to female. Their name is Clara Sorrenti. They changed their last name to sound more Italian so they can pretend they're a person of color. Allegedly, that could be a joke. I don't get it because I'm not that big a follower. But they originally were a member of the Communist Party. There's rumors that they embezzled money from there to fulfill their opium addiction. They eventually started Twitch streaming. They were on disability before this, but they started Twitch streaming and they could make that their full-time career eventually, and their big claim to fame was sometime in 2022, Destiny, one of the biggest political streamers, got deplatformed for saying that trans athletes shouldn't be allowed to compete with female athletes if they went through puberty before they transitioned. And because of that, Keffals wanted Destiny deplatformed because, in their opinion, that supports segregation. And since then, they've gone on a power trip because they got so much success from taking down Destiny that they're taking down anyone who mildly breathes wrong in their direction. That's
perfect. I would say that a large part of Keffals' success is due to having fostered a specific type of community with specific sets of rules, where if you don't follow these rules, you're not allowed to be on mainstream platforms. So deplatforming with a political agenda, but with an audience that has that kind of power. So there's a lot of numbers behind it, and there's a lot of rules. You have to abide by these rules. So you can't say there's a penalty to be paid for thought crimes. And unfortunately, Keffals is the arbiter of this truth, or at least has been throughout the entire 2022.
Yeah, I think eventually, during their power trip, they want to take down Kiwi Farms because they at one point said I dare Kiwi Farms, which is a gossip site, to dig up something on me. There's nothing I've done that's wrong. And immediately Kiwi Farms finds out that this trans streamer used to do dominatrix fart porn. Very embarrassing. Didn't even really fart, faked their own farts.
Yeah, real farts could have saved it all, Keffals.
And that's pretty embarrassing, but then they went further where they were digging more into that DIY hormones that Keffals sponsored, where I think the weirdest, the thing that illustrates how weird the DIY hormone website is that Okanoco Pharmacies, where they had the box of these hormones that they're selling to kids, and it said keep out of sight of adults or something like that. And that's that is that whole drama to me. It's weird that these adults are hey kids, you want to do this thing you can buy online? We're going to teach you how to hide it from your parents and keep it away from them. It's so creepy.
It's even worse than that, because Keffals actually taught these people or explained to them how to get Bitcoin so that they can buy this HRT behind their parents' back without their parents ever knowing.
Yeah, it's really creepy. In their opinion, it's because they think it's life-saving. This is the other coin. You're going to play devil's advocate. They think that this is life-saving medication. But it's they're not a doctor. And they're like literally, like, before becoming an e-celeb, we're like an unemployed disabled person who was a communist and quit being a communist because they saw someone smoking a cigarette in Cuba. You remember that story?
Oh God, do I ever? You want to tell it? Want to summarize it?
Yeah, Cuba story. Keffals at one point regales her audience that she's no longer communist or no longer into mainstream communism? I couldn't remember. Because while they were on a trip in Cuba with their boyfriend, as part of the Communist Party, they saw a nurse smoking in the hospital.
It also needs to be said that Keffals had pretty much lost every attempt at entering politics, like any run with the required votes. Largely unsuccessful, like massively unsuccessful, and then after bailed. So switched basic political beliefs due to not being able to take an L and getting ratioed by the voting system.
Aw, yeah, they had the least amount of votes, didn't they?
Yeah, well, consistently, just genuinely not winning that ratio at all, and then radically abandoned that community.
That kind of makes me think a little bit, like, just a side note, tinfoil hat, not really tinfoil hat, but like crack ship, as a fanfiction fan would call it. Ma'am, what do you have it about? Sargon and Keffals could date and be the worst political runners of all time, just together, like the best, worst. I took an edible some little right now.
Is Sargon really that bad though? Did he really, like,
What?
does he really deserve that?
Sargon literally had milkshakes thrown at him.
I know, but does he deserve the Keffals, the Trans Rosa Parks? Does Sargon deserve that whole experience?
You're saying, does he deserve it?
Yes.
But does he deserve it in, like, Keffals is great, right?
No,
You're not being...
Oh no, Keffals is fantastic, right? So does Sargon live up to that OTP?
Don't flag us. We love Keffals.
we love Keffals.
All right. So what happens next? So Keffals, it was on the high. What caused the first set of cancellation?
Well, okay. So there are three main things that Keffals is being cancelled for in 2023. So after the saga that you just explained, and Keffals had to take an L because the only thing that came out of that was that Cloudflare itself had cancelled itself accidentally, I guess, or deliberately by kicking off Kiwi Farms off of its servers. So therefore creating a more stable Kiwi Farms, and it's thriving, it's living its truth. It just celebrated its decade birthday, so happy birthday, Kiwi Farms.
Decennial.
Yay, in Black History Month of all times. Congratulations.
Oh no. That's great. I love Black people and Kiwi Farms.
Yes, you can have it all.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
I know. And Keffals kind of faded into irrelevancy for obvious reasons, but if it needs to be stated explicitly, it's because despite having media backing, despite having Twitter's backing, despite being the queen of ratios and farts alike, Keffals could not accomplish the simple task of taking down a random ass gossip site.
And she also couldn't get, like, anyone to watch her stream.
Right.
Like,
I mean, that's just that's just nature taking its course, right? I mean, it's boring.
Yeah, because her streams are boring.
It's so boring. It was not gonna, like, the only people that know about Keffals is from Twitter, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
And so...
Oh, and right after she got her Twitter check mark, Twitter let everyone have check marks.
Yes.
Anyways, keep going.
Oh, yeah, there was an attempted ratio to... Yeah, okay. Anyway, so, in 2023, we decided as a community that it would be best if we just part our ways and forget Keffals ever existed, because that was just not a fun time for anybody involved. And
better that way.
I mean, the only person that took an L here was Keffals in the end. So I mean, I think it's mutually that we just agreed to just leave each other alone. But due to this Frankenstein monster of a community that Keffals had created under the Twitter landscape with its own set of rules and its power and the way that a mob functions, this mob inevitably turned on Keffals. So Keffals got cancelled for 3 things in the month of February in 2023. The first one.
Okay.
The first one is Keffals said the word. Yes. Take a moment.
Oh my god.
Recover. Hold yourself.
Why would they say
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's just completely fucked up.
God.
Imagine trying to get rid of a website that uses slurs.
Imagine saying retard.
Imagine saying retard. That is disgusting. And with the hard R too. It's not even like casual.
It couldn't be me.
It could never be me. I mean, it's like fucking disgusting behavior. So on the 2nd of February,
wait. That's, can I say one?
yeah.
What was I gonna say? Saying the retard word, can't relate.
Yeah, imagine like saying the retard word and not being the retard. I mean, how do you think I stay this readable and submissive? Sorry.
Well, to be fair, do you think so? What we're actually almost being complimentary with us pointing it out. We're saying that Keffals is not retard.
Keffals is unfortunate. Well, Keffals is claiming to be a retard, but Keffals in. Okay, I'll tell you after I read the tweet because it'll relate. So on the 2nd of February, a user by the name Bell tweeted, "Keffals is an ableist. Why do we always have to uplift the absolute worst human beings as representatives?" End quote. And then attached there was a video. And in this video, it was like a clip of Keffals raging at chat for asking, I would only assume, natural questions as one does in a political Twitch stream environment. And Keffals' response was to say, can somebody retweet?
Oh no, that's so good.
So first response to that was people obviously taking aside whether or not the retard word is offensive or not, obviously. And well, most people in the spheres that you and I move in seem to not have a problem with retard word. And specifically, most vocally, the commentary community does not have a problem with the word.
Yeah, they say that word all the time.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of fun, right? And like I said, with the hard R and everything, like you can't play around, you can't pussyfoot that shit. You know, you're in the retard game or you're not.
A soft R tard slur drop is actually worse because it's retard. It makes you sound like
it kind of sounds like the South Park the South Park imitation of Canadians. Retard.
Are you retarded?
Are you retarded? Keffals, are you retarded?
What's that guy's name that has that Elmer Fudd voice from the commentary? The Squidward guy? What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Smaggle.
Smaggle.
That's how he says retard. That's retarded.
That's retarded. Yes. Okay, so the natural response was for some people to care and some people not to care. Now, here an interesting division has happened, but I'm only going to clarify that after the third point that the third cancellation, to bring it all together. So what I will say here is that specifically Tipster did a whole ass 2-hour stream, maybe not the entire stream was covering it, but a stream defending Keffals saying the retard word because it's fun to say. The commentary community does not stand specifically against it, and Keffals and Tipster are on good terms. When Tipster was criticized for this specific approach in the comments, saying, why are you defending Keffals? Tipster responded by saying that
she would have canceled you for this.
Well, yes, that's what people said, but Tipster responded, they only asked why at this point in time, and Tipster responded saying easily, I can be critical of somebody for their many other mistakes and defend them in the cases where they're right, so thus separating the person from the action, right? So saying it's just because Keffals did that whole laundry list of shit that you mentioned earlier does not mean that Keffals is inherently bad and doesn't deserve defense whenever they do retarded things later on, right? So this would be one of them. So okay, put a pin in that.
Yeah, that's who cares if Keffals is being canceled? It's like bending over backwards for something you should just go, oh, cool. Bye, bitch.
Yeah, I'll take us home. I'll take us home right there. Hang on to that point. It's coming up again. On the 3rd of February, my favorite cancellation. Keffals was cancelled for Black Butch lesbian LARPing. So on...
Oh my god, I remember this!
This one is my absolute favorite cancellation. So, again, Belle tweeted on the 3rd of February. Keffals is now encouraging her followers to go infiltrate tender queer Twitter to spread misinfo and mistrusts by using pig crew avatars. She suggested her followers pretend to be black, the end result being that LGBT BIPOC would then be viewed with a suspicion as a result. And attached, we had another video, and this video was very, very, very obviously a troll to me, in my opinion. Somebody came in late and said, what are we doing? Are we infiltrating tender queer? And then Keffals was literally saying this, but almost in a sarcastic tone. But the problem is, Keffals is so fucking monotone all the time, and doesn't even have a resting bitch face, just has a resting plastic surgery face, just a wall of nothingness going on there.
A resting Botox face.
Yeah. You can't tell any emotion. There's nothing happening there. So you can't really
That's
tell
hilarious.
whether it's a cry for help or a sarcasm or what is happening here. We only know what Keffals had said, so giving the greatest benefit of the doubt, Keffals was trolling chat at the time and got clipped rather unfortunately.
She probably was.
Yeah. Chances are.
There's so many layers to this.
There's so many layers, but the most important question is who the fuck cares? Like, legitimately, who cares? Because
I don't care, but it's so funny that, like, I just avow because trolling is for children.
Yes, trolling is. Well, I mean, I'm African, so my people are behind. So we're doing what you guys did in like 2016. That's where we are.
God.
So we're like totally allowed to be there right now. Like, you cannot hold that over me. But no. The only point was, I think Keffals was joking, but whether or not Keffals was caught suggesting that they dare pretend to be black, queer, butch lesbians in Black History Month to look radically different from who they genuinely are, so that they can.
So they look like they're fighting with themselves.
Yes, exactly. Stir up drama.
That's a little bit fucked up to do. Like,
yeah, I mean, I've never done that. I can't. Like, isn't that similar to what Creepshow Art did?
I wouldn't do that, but like this is a community where they all are trying to be sensitive and nice
Yes.
to each other. Like, even Keffals tries to be somewhat sensitive.
Yes.
But like, it's kind of fucked up to go into a community of really sensitive people that you're also wanting to be sensitive with. Be like, let's just make people suspicious of each other.
Yes.
Like, that's a little weird. It's something like a fucked up person in a community like the Sector, like Ralph A-Logs, that's normal for them, and that's not weird or gross. But no, like a sensitive, like, subculture of like sensitive trans people, that's a little weird.
Even worse, to highlight exactly what you just said, they refer to this, or in the comments of this, it was described as digital blackfacing. So that means when you're black,
I knew they would call it that.
that means that you're basically white people dressing up as black people. Oh, and one of the people who did this thing that Keffel suggested, had in their bio that the reason why their account is new is because they got attacked for being black. So that's why they had to delete their account and start a new account. That was like the official story that they were running with. So it was like legitimately people pretending to be black, or at least some people are actually retarded enough to have done this, whether or not it was intended as a meme or a joke or whatever. Some people legitimately did this.
Yeah, and imagine spending your time doing it.
So I remember also Mr. Beard, the fattest man that I'm currently logging.
Mr. Beard.
He sucks. He sucks on all levels, but he specifically.
I know, but like he's so funny. Like
he's hilarious.
He does is so stupid.
He's so wrong about everything. I fucking love it. I love it.
Yeah, and he's so like he seems like he's like a sweet little Pillsbury dog boy of stupid.
Yeah, he's a bundle of stupid. Yeah. Also he has this thing with pronouns that I can't remember what it is, but he's both a him. It's a him. I don't care.
Oh no.
No,
okay,
it's not. It's not.
Don't tell me I'm using the wrong.
No, you're not. It's some non-binary thing. I don't know. Mr. Beard's response to this.
As long as he's happy.
He doesn't seem very happy, but I'm happy.
I know.
I'm happy. So I'm happy with whatever he's doing, and I hope he keeps
You're
doing
happy?
It. Yes, he should keep doing it. Nobody stop him.
I love his tweets. I just read them and laugh.
Yeah, he's amazing. Fucking awesome. Go follow Mr. Beard. Okay.
Yeah, we endorse him. What was his take with Keffals?
His take on this specific situation was that, and I shit you not, it was my fucking favorite thing. So the reason why he was against Keffals using this butch lesbian LARPing as a thing was because this is something, and I quote, that the 4chaner alt-rightists do. Yes. I mean, how dare he come for my people?
I was like, I've never been aware of this tactic of, maybe it's because I don't go on 4chan, but like, I didn't know that was a tactic of anybody, specifically. Like, I thought it was just something that
The only time that I've ever actually, ever encountered this as a tactic to grow or to actually do anything or influence anything was actually with Creepshow Art, making that fake drama with the fake profiles. That's the only time that I've ever heard of this. Otherwise, people make fake profiles to Bannovate all the time, and that's the extent. I legitimately didn't know that I could assume, there's reasons, I guess, political reasons why people would do something like this. But yeah, his take was that this is something that alt-righters do, and so Keffals is encouraging or using tactics from the Nazis, basically.
Where do these people come from? Like, I just don't get that. Like, it just feels like a different language.
I'm kidding, we're not. Or nobody's even in that crowd. Like, Mr. Beard is just. It was just not a day for the meds, man. What does BIPOC mean? What does that stand for? As the tweet said, LGBT BIPOC. What the fuck is a BIPOC?
I don't know.
Okay, so it's definitely something sensitive.
It might be a biracial people of color.
Okay, then whatever it means, I apologize to the BIPOC people or offending the people.
Or bisexual people of color.
Yeah. Whatever it means, I apologize for offending the people of diversity and all your variations. Every color is beautiful.
Black History Month.
Black History Month. Hashtag Black History Month. So that was the second cancellation. I don't remember who specifically else had what other take. That Mr. Beard take just stood out to me. I loved everything about it. I posted it everywhere. It was fucking.
Yeah, you sent it to me, and I spent like a while just reading them fighting back and forth, and I was like, I don't know what any of them are saying. Like, I don't get it. Like, they're like talking at each other, and I get like one person's getting more votes, but I'm like, it's like they might as well be speaking a different language.
Yes.
It's just like the arguments of like them about how important this word is and how it like should destroy their whole career. It's just like, it's fascinating to me.
Absolutely. And the power of the ratio too. Like they legitimately care. They legitimately care about who's right and wrong. And it took such a turn that other political Twitch streamers came out and did this bold, brave steps and announcing I think Demon Mama even did a stream titled So this is from the community, of course, where you can't say cracker without getting banned. So that was a bold and brave move. You have to salute them in their efforts to adhere to the alt-right 4chaners and safeguarding that future.
What does that prove? Does that prove that Keffals is okay to say Is that what it is?
It means that everybody has to take a side. Whether you are a slur enjoyer, when, of course, it's not, again, basically you have to choose which side has the most money. So they kind of looked at the situation and saw that, okay, Keffals is winning the ratio warrior because Mr. Beard objectively sucks in all regards, like genuinely like terrible takes across the board. So who are you going to side with here? Are you going to pick the one with him?
I saw other people ratioing Keffals, so.
Yeah. Yes. The next point is considered the most serious one, and this really put the nail in the coffin for the cancellation. Like 2 days later. Okay. So on the 5th of February, 2023, Keffals was accused of platforming an alleged rapist. For real.
Who?
Yeah. So it's this guy called Cole James Cash, I believe is his name. So, okay, this person called Violet Valentine tweeted out, I don't want to get involved in the Keffals stuff, but I will say it's interesting that she had my rapist on her show this week. And that was the tweet. It's still up. It's the only tweet still up of this. Yeah. So here's the thing. I have no idea.
Did Keffals know this person was
There
a
we go.
rapist?
We don't know. We don't know any of that content at all. We're not giving anything. And we're also not being told what does this mean to have, like, because Mr. Girl, I believe there's enough reason to say he's a fucking pedophile. So a lot of people have him on their platform to debate him, right? So what I'm saying is, like, we don't know the context that they come up for a debate. Was it a random person that called in? Did Keffals know any context? Was Keffals talking about this? Was the news already out that it was rapist? We don't know any of this, and it's not being thoroughly explained by anybody at all. But what I do know is that Keffals employed the one true try and tested tactic that they've also used during the Drop Kiwi Farms saga, and that was to respond to every single bit of criticism with absolute radical sarcasm, like with just memeing the entire situation to the point where you absolutely cannot know what Keffals means or what Keffals' takes is on anything. And this sucks because it looks from the outside like, oh, Keffals is being based because Keffals is not taking any of this drama serious or has a quick retort or whatever you want to fucking call it. But the problem is that it's deflection. It's entirely deflection, and it's not used once or twice. Like, for example, when your fans call you out for using the retard word and, you know, you're trying to meme on them or whatever. It's all the way up until the serious shit, or when the Drop Kiwi Farms thing happened and everybody was like, hey, you raised 100K to sue the Canadian police. Why aren't you suing the Canadian police? Did you take our money or did you take their money? And Keffals didn't respond except for memeing the situation. So this has been like a typical tactic of Keffals to get out of it.
This is such like I know Keffals is millennial, but this is really a Gen Z type of like behavior. Keffals is very Gen Z. born in the wrong time, man. And we keep going.
So there's no way to hold Keffals accountable because Keffals makes the rules and then breaks those rules and then pretends like those rules never existed. Like, all the time. All the time. Like,
which is a little bit, like, cool.
Yes, if Keffals wasn't the arbiter of the rules. So if Keffals didn't deplatform people for breaking the rules, then maybe, you know? So Keffals, for example, when announcing, I will dox Kiwi farmers, I will do all that after the main complaint being that Kiwi farmers had doxed Keffals. Stuff like that, you know, where it's like, okay, but you want us to deplatform this website because of these rules, these set of moral rules that you dictate, and now you're doing the same thing and it's okay because it's my enemy. So my point is that Keffals uses diversion tactics, and it's very annoying because there are legitimate issues that Keffals has been criticized for. And when they did that absolutely boring stream on the Oreo, when Keemstar and
I didn't even watch it.
It was terrible. It was so boring. But Nick did ask some of the pressing questions that came about during the manifesto that Destiny wrote. And the response to those questions was like not only deflection, but stuff like, why are you coming at me so hard, you know? And then like making jokes about,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was literally,
why can't you just answer questions?
It literally was that over and over, and somehow it was being sold as a W to us. Fucking lies and slander, I tell you. Lies and slander. It was not a W.
That's so stupid. Just answer questions.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, and the thing is if you've answered them before, then I get it, but they've never been answered. And the retaliation was just further memeing. So, I mean, absolute pussy as behavior.
Woman behavior, man. Am I right?
Okay. After that tweet came out with Keffals and what we just said about platforming this rapist, Tipster tweeted on the 6th of February, and I quote, "The latest allegations against @Keffals is that she platformed an alleged rapist. Seems like guilt by association. Though I wonder if she was aware of this when she had them on. Willing to bet she probably wasn't. Streamers don't exactly background check everyone they have on." So here's the problem with that. So even though we just contextualized all the reasons why it could be true, and we don't know the exact context, you know, that Keffals maybe just simply made a mistake, an easy mistake. The problem is that, as we said from the get-go, from saying the word retard, from infiltrating the gender queer with the butch black lesbians, the problem is that Keffals has made this community with these specific sets of rules and like basically made a weapon out of people. Made an absolute mass destruction hate mob to which if anybody broke these codes of conduct, these ethical rules, they would completely entirely lose their platform, their ability to speak, they would be crucified for wrongthing. So now this hate mob, this weapon, has turned its fucking ugly ass face on Keffals and is now pointing the knife. So the problem that people had in the comments was basically, well, it was threefold, I guess. On the one hand, people were saying, okay, well, Tipster, who cares? It's Keffals, right? Keffals made this list of enemies. Keffals made this hate mob, and Keffals is in a community where these things matter. So Keffals should know better because of the fact that Keffals made these rules. Keffals is the community. Keffals is the cancel culture machine. So having it turn on them ain't that big a deal. And the second group of people were saying, unfortunately, wow, I kind of like Keffals now. This is kind of based. The way that Keffals is just memeing all the shit off.
Really?
Yes. I would say that Tipster was in that category as well.
Because I don't think Keffals really did anything bad in this situation. I wouldn't go out and be like, oh, she's cool. That's a stretch.
I'll say it like this. Every community, whether it's the T community, Hater Nation, the commentary community, every community functions within a specific code of conduct and things that matter and things that do not matter. So in the commentary community, things like hypocrisy, false flagging, copyright strikes, those types of things really, really matter. And if you break those rules, then you will be held accountable within that community. Now, those kinds of rules do not really matter to the T community. But things like slurs matter a lot there. And if you enter a community and you know the rules, you would play by the fucking rules because that's how you get the audience.
Yes. That's a really good way of summarizing it.
Yeah, that's the thing. So Keffals made the rules and plays in the rules and benefits from the rules, gets the audience from that rules, cancels other people over not abiding by these rules. Fuck you, you are accountable for these rules that you made. Greatly do not agree with those people. But the third category of reactions is one that you specifically summarized beautifully.
So Keffals officially is canceled for saying retard, but not for selling body-altering drugs to confuse kids. Like, on what planet, regardless of identity, is it okay for some retarded influencer to encourage kids to take any form of medication that requires a doctor? Anyways, Twitter people for caring more about a silly little word more than the safety of confused kids. YouTubers/Twitch streamers have gotten canceled for gambling games played in front of kids, but DIY hormones, a-okay.
Right. So the third group of people said, who the cares about any of this? You guys still haven't held Keffals accountable for the shit that Keffals actually did. The actual harm.
Yeah, things that actually, like, affect people outside of some, like, ouch, the word retard's not nice, or, yeah, outside of, like, Twitter. People outside of Twitter are hurt by the things they did before. But no one cared, but now it hurts, like, the Twitter people's feelings.
That's a side that you and I obviously take. And yeah. a few people in the comments were mad at Tipster because he was taking that second route.
Yeah, a really stupid take.
Yeah, and then again in the comments saying what I mentioned earlier about, well, just because I criticized them for that at that point doesn't mean I'll allow them to be a victim this time when they didn't do anything wrong. But the problem is, if true accountability was held the first time, that never would have passed in the commentary community. There wouldn't have been an opportunity for a second or a third or this thing to even happen.
Yeah, but the first thing that Keffals did, which was flagging people, was rule number 1 against commentary community, so it was already strike, 3. She's already in that community, but now she can come back?
Yeah, absolutely. And Turkey Tom was not happy about this at all. He tweeted something, I don't have it in front of me, but he tweeted something along the lines of Tipster being a low IQ disappointment. He did add the word obese. How can I ever forget that? And the thing is, I like Tipster as a person, but he's wrong.
Yeah.
He's wrong.
His take's bad, but I don't hate him.
I don't hate him. He makes me laugh, and I have no problem with him, but he is wrong in this situation. And he's still, I saw until this day, he's still interacting in this specific way, still trying, and it does kind of come off like simp behavior. It does come off as, for some reason, there's some currently a good vibe between them, so everything is forgiven and eternal white knighting is guaranteed.
It just seems like, I don't know, he wants her to be friends with him or something, he just wants another friend in his friends. It's like, oh, we both like online stuff, let's be friends.
I have no idea. There is speculation on the Kiwi farms. It's been that for a while, that people in commentary, due to wanting to have a safe space in the future of YouTube and wanting to have a specific image and appeal to more people, want to seem more pro-transgender, pro-LGBT, because that's currently what is trending, right? It's not that cool anymore to be pro-black people, so it's now LGBT. There's been speculation that there's been more attempts at kind of grifting the pro-LGBT stance, and I can't say, with who it's sincere, with who it's not. We can't tell that, but that has been the speculation, and I guess I can see it. I will say this, with people using the preferred, correct, chosen pronouns, I will say that because those people have, like Turkey Tom has been accused of being cucks or cucking to the system, and what I will say on that is that it's their job. I feel like getting up from Monday to Friday, getting up at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Working for somebody is cucking as well. And I think it's a cucking that I choose to partake in because I want the money of doing that. So everybody has to cuck for a boss, and this is one of those things you have to do. You have to.
Yeah, Turkey Tom had to weigh in. Is losing my money worth caring about this? And he thought, no, I don't care about this enough to do. Yeah, it's not important to him.
Where I will say I had a problem is, remember when Flamenco got cancelled? It was the first round of, I guess, when he did his
first round.
Yeah, when he did his publicity stores and went on everybody's streams, there was one situation in which, I can't remember exactly who, but I think, speaking under correction here, I think it was Edwin and Bo Blacks, who had a specific problem with Flamenco, that his chat was transphobic. And specifically that he had mods that is transphobic. And at that point, I will have a problem because I will say that you should not tell another man how to run his chat. his chat is a safe space. And he makes the rules and he's the arbiter. So I completely side with, if you want to fill it with all kinds of nasty, disgusting sex robots, then that's your choice too. And then also on top of that, I will also say that I don't think creators are responsible for their chats, specifically when it's large chats or when it's going by quickly.
I just want to interject.
Sorry.
How do they know that his mods are transphobic? Who pays that much attention to someone's mods? Specifically flamenco. Like, who cares? I never had an issue with a creator because of their fucking mods. Like, what a fucking weird thing to pay attention to. Like, go outside.
You're so right. I can't imagine caring like.
The one time I hear about having it, like, there's an issue with a mod, it's when someone brings up they have an issue with a mod. I've never seen a mod and had an opinion on them.
I literally couldn't care. I guess the biggest thing that would matter in the commentary space is if you have a mod that just like radically deletes and blocks everybody. Yeah, I was so taken aback by that criticism out of the laundry list of shit that you could have like went for.
Yeah.
That one blew my mind because I would not let anybody tell me how to do my chats at all ever. Like it's like being in somebody else's house, you know, you respect their rules or you get the fuck out.
I think I heard about this cancellation of flamenco, and I think I just brushed it off because who the fuck cares about his mods?
Yeah, that one, something I tuned in pretty quickly, and I remember them going off, and he didn't have any kind of response, which he really should have, because the response is so obvious and intuitive.
I would have just left. I would just not even entertain it. What a fucking stupid point.
I mean, yeah.
I just wouldn't have the conversation to begin with. I would have just been like, I'm gonna go do something else. Then this. Like, this is stupid. I need to... Yeah, I would have just left.
In the words of Keffals, started.
just please, you guys, just go outside. Like, and I don't like to go outside. I want to follow all this stuff, so like, I'll watch it. But like, I can't even follow all of it. Like, someone who really likes to watch it can't follow it because they do so much show all the time.
Commentary L. Oh yeah, I kind of wanted to talk a bit about Turkey Tom's response to all of this, but he basically said, I think he has the same take as you and I, with the exception of like being called out for using the cucked pronouns. But he basically had the same take of, while Keffals is being destroyed for the reasons that Keffals did, and we should not forgive Keffals for what they did to the uppercase internet.
Yeah, that was we didn't even touch on how like fucked they made the internet by getting like someone platformed over complaints, which is like a big deal.
Absolutely, and abusing a power, saying that specific political agendas deserve to be heard and thought crimes deserve to be punished by execution of social media. I mean, it's just ruthless behavior, and the best part was still that it's a gossip form where you literally could avoid. You literally can go your entire life without reading it.
Yeah.
Even if you have a thread. Like, there's
nobody
reason
I know outside of the internet knows what Kiwi Farms is or cares.
Yes.
Every job I've been in, I think I've been like, they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I think I've mentioned before I knew you're not supposed to talk about it. And I mentioned no one knew what it is. No one knows what the fuck it is. No one cares. The only time I've ever known someone outside of people talking to people online to know about this internet stuff is when that time James Charles got canceled.
Oh.
3 years ago. That's the only time YouTube has bled into my real life where people knew what was happening.
That's funny. I don't even... Oh, I have a friend who follows violin players, and she told me this crazy story of how one of the violin players that she follows got cancelled because apparently Nikocado Avocado commented on her Instagram or something saying well done, and then everybody cancelled this person because she hearted the comment and didn't immediately disavow because he's an obese fat fuck that trolls the internet. Yeah, that's literally. And she was like, she messaged me, she's like, I know you know internet stuff. Why is this happening? And why do people care? Like, even if it's legitimately the worst person ever, she hearted a comment. Nothing, she didn't do nothing, you know?
The only time you've had it blatant was Nikocado and violin pages.
Because of violin, and she has never heard of Nikocado at all. She just knew that somebody that she likes or follows even got cancelled for hearting. It was fucking hilarious because now imagine this person who's a normie, who's a celeb in violin, not the internet, right? Like a legitimately established person, like a professional violinist, who has to explain to normal people what the fuck a Nikocado avocado is and why how mukbangs work, and then how a like comment leads to like her losing followers and thus income.
And she probably didn't know any of this until after she hearted it and this happened. She probably hearted it because she got a notification because some big account commented on her video and she saw he had a lot of followers and she hearted it. And then all of a sudden she's canceled and she's like, what the fuck? And then she stumbled on Nikocado videos and her life is never the same.
Yeah, now she's like a main Kiwi Farms mod.
Yeah, that's such a sad story that happened.
Yeah, it could have been the best story ever. You never know what fucking happened there. But yeah, that was my real life experience with the lookout.
Yeah, mine was only I think I said something at work or someone said something about oh, you watching this James Charles thing? And I was like, yeah! And that was during Dramageddon, when he lost 3 million followers in a day.
Oh, I almost forgot to tell you, there is actually breaking news in this Keffals story cancellation thing. There is new news.
Oh, yes.
But it's not like a major, it doesn't change anything, basically, but it changes everything. Okay, mm-hmm. So apparently, this is allegedly because there wasn't time yet for anybody to come out and completely disprove any of this evidence. But I saw a thread saying that basically all of these clips of Keffals being cancelled that is coming out now, we're seeing for the first time, is actually done as a gay op by a Mr. Medicare fan who avenges the fallen. I don't know why, but apparently there's this person who clipped all of this to bait fake outrage to get Keffals cancelled, and Keffals has lost 10k followers, right? So effectively it did work, right? But all the evidence is true, the clips are true, all of this happened, but the actual cancellation
it doesn't matter who posted it.
Yeah, so I don't think it means anything because literally 100% of this is still true. But apparently the outrage wasn't supposed to be as bad if it happened organically. This was rather retweeted and enforced and encouraged by this Medicare fan.
AstroTurf by Medicare fans. But, okay, so they think it's a Medicare fan because they showed this person who tweeted out these viral clips of Keffals saying these things. And they also showed that this person was talking about their grandfather, who's a simple hat salesman, and calls him Chudbud, which is a sign that he's a Medicare fan. But what if there's a twist? What if he literally has a grandfather who sells hats who calls him Chudbud? What if it's just a coincidence?
Way. Do you think he owns Sneed, Seed, and Feed, formerly Chuck's?
He could, he literally just could be the craziest coincidence that the person who also didn't like that Keffals says retard also has a grandfather who sells hats, who calls him Chudbud, and works at Sneed and Feed.
It could be. I mean, these are all allegations at this point in time. I mean, this is, if this was really, people use the word gay op wrong all the time, but if this was some kind of an op, where there was a real intention to cancel Keffals, then we will have to tip those bought hats to say thank you, sir, because nobody has managed to cancel Keffals, and if one single fan with no relation to anybody managed to do it all in Black History Month, just casually clipping and retweeting shit, a solo mission, then I would say that this person did fucking well and deserves a little clap from that. But I don't think it changes anything. I think the outrage is very real because of the hate mob that Keffals fostered. But fucking A, yes. I love to believe in magic as a Harry Potter fan myself. So I will say fuck yeah.
What are our final thoughts?
I feel like Keffals should be held accountable if you're gonna care about Keffals. Firstly, I think we should all stop caring about Keffals. I think that's the correct answer.
Imagine caring about Keffals past laughing.
Oh my god, right? But if you are gonna care about the HRT for the kids, care about the stuff that we used to care about in commentary, care about the PIDs.
Why would you want, they get mad, they were wanting to cancel Onision, and, he should be canceled, but I remember, people were mad at him because he hated meat eaters. They don't even want Onision to talk to you about vegetarianism. What if he starts selling you DIY hormones?
Right. I keep saying this as well, and this happens in every community. I've seen this across the board, but influencers are always held to this moral standard as if literally our only qualification is having Wi-Fi and downloading editing software.
I know, they're just people.
Because we're doing things that normally people don't do for money. So
Like, yeah, why do you think, like, Mary Jane over there, who could be entertaining for about 3 hours a day on a stream, why do you think they have the qualification to be your kid's fucking psychiatrist?
right, and then on top of that, when it comes out inevitably that they are why are you shocked?
Yes, Mary Jane over there is retarded.
Yeah, like literally, I mean, I expect Keffals to be the fart queen, to represent absolutely nobody, just be like, this is what you could become if you don't make the right choices. And somehow that means that Keffals is entitled to all this money and shouldn't be questioned and should be forgiven. And that's just cringe. That's just so cringe.
Yeah, wow.
So the trans community is not represented in my country at all. It really, like, I think I've maybe seen in real life 1 or 2 trans people ever. So this is not really a thing that happens here. We are definitely more concerned with specifically AIDS and the black. So that those are our 2 biggest things. And our former president said, there is a quote of him, and former, I mean, like really just a few years ago, he actually said that when he was younger, if a gay person would stand in front of him, he would like just knock him out. That was just his hot take, and nobody has questioned that yet. Like, it's just like one of his quotes. It's just like, it just lives out there.
So, trans community here, I just don't know of any person I've met in real life that cares about this shit, either trans or cis or whatever. Like, no one, I don't think I can bring up Keffals to any trans person I know in real life, and they know who they are.
Like, so what you're saying now is that this is just Twitter.
Yeah.
They could, like, they literally could be Twitter bots, just programmed to keep engagement high with rage tweets. Or bait tweets, right? It literally could just be that. So what you're basically saying is that the way to defeat Keffals is to just get rid of Twitter, because that, like, is literally the only.
Yeah, I haven't been paying attention to Keffals at all, and I haven't been on Twitter, and like I've been looking this past week, but I'm like a little lost, and like I forgot Keffals existed for like an entire month, and it was amazing.
It was awesome. That was so awesome. And then Keffals dared enter Black History Month and Kiwi Farm's anniversary month to come here with this, like, fucking gay shit.
Cancellation?
Yeah, the being all cancelled, like, stealing yet another thing from the poor people of color. You know, they really fucking try their best just to have 1 month, and Keffals couldn't just be glad with taking up a whole year of our time.
We could have spent this time laughing at Ethan Ralph. But no, Keffals had to take some of her space up.
Again.
Ugh.
It's like, it really reminds me of all the women I know, just taking up all that extra space and
being
announcing
selfish.
themselves.
But yeah, I like keep looking, like, I feel like because my boyfriend doesn't pay attention to any of this too, and I like will tell him about it, and he'll be like, Cecil, I literally don't care. Like, who cares about this stuff? He doesn't affect his daily life. No one he knows talks about this stuff. It just, yeah, that's it. It's so inconsequential. Just literally go get a job or do something else. I don't know, it's a mess. And the dog's in here. So this is the first time, I think, recording with me having 2 dogs, so it's gonna probably be worse than usual.
Oh, great. Oh, but I feel like the doggos add some vibe to it, so I'm not against it at all.
We can call Leela the podcast dog, because she likes to sit with me while I work. If you want a puppy, thoughts, you can come to America and get one.
100. I'm basically consider me already there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could have... We don't plan on selling puppies, we just want to, like, see what their puppies will look like, and then be like, alright, who wants puppies? But we're not, like, gonna give... Like, that's the scary part. Like, I would never give it to random people. But, like, family.
You know I love the doggos. I'll take 7. I'll take all of them. You know, and every
They're gonna be good dogs. They're gonna be, let's see, Bernese Mountain Dog, Pyrenees, German Shepherd, and Malamute.
First of all, everybody thinks that their dog is the best dog, and everybody is absolutely fucking correct about that.
They are.
Every dog is the best dog, and yeah,
well, you know,
I believe.
I'm a cat person. I don't really like dogs, but I like my dogs.
You are so wrong for that take. I can't even.
No. I like dogs, but like they're just, to me, I'm like, oh, dogs are cute, but they're not as cute as cats. But now I have dogs. Like, okay, yeah, my dogs are as cute as cats, but only my dogs.
I have no idea how you could be so wrong about this, but okay, fine, I'll accept it.
What are
Cats
you?
Are cute too. Yeah.
Cats are. I don't know. They said that there's like a brain worm that like cats can give you where you become like in love with them, and I have the brain worm. Like,
you absolutely have the brain worm. Yes.
Every time I see a cat, I like it.
Without...
There's just like a feeling when I see a cat. It just makes me feel so happy inside. They're so cute.
They are adorable.
Yeah, when you get dogs, they're so cute, but like I don't get that fuzzy feeling inside.
Oh, you're too dead inside. I'm sorry. No, the internet loves cats. That's why. Like, you have been brainwashed by the internet because you don't touch grass enough. People who go outside love dogs because they run and they play and they do things.
No!
That's my thing.
You know what it is? No, when I was 4 years old, my aunt asked me if I want kids. I said, no, I want cats. And she said, who's gonna clean up the cat litter? I said, my husband.
Oh, nailed it.
I've been cat crazy since I was 4. No, I actually cleaned the cat litter.
You had a 40-year plan, and you're not derailing for anybody or anything, and I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. I love consistency in people, and I can accept that. I can accept your terms.
I always said my goal was to be comfortable and have a lot of cats.
That's that. Yes.